I sent it to you.
Do we have the extra mic, like besides this one? Am I on right now?
You're on. We have this one, and we have. Yeah.
That'd be great. For
Whatever, take whatever you need.
So should we, do you want a lavender or do you want a hair towel? I need a new bag. Yeah, my kids picked this up.
Figuring that out as we go.
William is over there. Okay, so we'll be over there.
Not great, but my fault this time. It just stopped working. So I can't get his audio. But that's not on.
Is there anything we should do with the camera to pick up the ambient?
It already is.
There it is.
So it'll just be whatever we get ambient. Perfect.
I went to and I'd never been to a meeting.
We have 0 viewers.
Yeah, this is the kind of test run to see which broadcast gets more viewers. To see which one would make the most sense to keep going.
Well, it says live. And it's live on the website, but we just have no viewers.
Okay.
We have 3 viewers on Facebook and on YouTube.
Okay.
We're sending it,
Yep.
and it's showing up.
We're doing what we're supposed to do, and we'll have some data to figure out what we want to do going forward.
I was just worried if it's 0 viewers, then there might be a configuration problem.
Oh, gotcha.
But I can view it if I go to MUUF, so
Perfect.
it's not on the internet. Okay. So, let's mess with the next. Let's get our sound tested. Hold on. Okay. We can test when you're ready. I don't know what happened to my phone.
They're right over here.
Yeah. Everything.
Everybody in our group, the ones that think about that, were like, well, it's going to take.
Allison, we can. Yeah, hold on. Okay, go.
Testing, testing, testing. Oh, there we go. For those, are we live already?
We're live.
Well, then I'll just let you all know that this is only our second time broadcasting from outside. And so we had something we've all grown to love during the pandemic, which is technical difficulties. But we adapt and rise to those difficulties. So hopefully you hear us. And now we're ready, I think, to get started. We checked this mic. We checked your mic. Marjorie, do you want to check your mic? Just check, check.
Check, 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 check.
And yours?
Check, 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 check.
Oh, look at that. I was thinking, Stearns, how about some gathering music?
I think that would be really fun. Good morning, everyone. We're going to start with Come, Come, Whoever You Are, like we did last week, because you sounded so beautiful. And we're going to sing it twice through all together once, and then we're going to sing it as a round 3 times. And Lori and Allison and Nick are going to lead that side, and I'm going to lead this side. Good plan? Beautiful. So I invite you to rise and mask, please. and sing with me. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Just this side. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. And come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan. Again come yet again come. Come yet again come. Everybody, come yet again come. One last time. Come yet again come.
Thank you, Stern. Welcome to the Morristown Unitarian Fellowship. My name is Marjorie Wormser. I am the chair of the Welcoming Engagement and Fun Teams. We abbreviate that WEFT, as in the warp and weft, as we're weaving our fabric of community. And we weave the warp and weft in the loom of love. I have a few announcements today. First, we are so glad you are here. If you are a newcomer and you haven't done so already, please stop by our welcome table to the right over there, just on the other side of this brick wall, and make sure that you have your name, email, and other contact information so that we can update you on what's happening in the life of our community. Second, children's RE classes, religious education classes, and youth group meet today for the first time this fall. Our children's RE program starts now with the time of all ages, and the teacher and youth adult advisor commissioning at the start of our worship, followed by classes outdoors around the campus, especially as our children under age 12 are not yet vaccinated. The youth group will be spacing out in the sanctuary with the new high-efficiency filters running. If you haven't registered your child or youth yet, please go to the welcome table, I believe, yes? That's where lifespan learning and religious education registration can take place. Third, we are both in person, outdoors, and online for coffee hour. We will host 2 in-person coffee hours on our outdoor terrace following the 9:30 a.m. and the 11:15 a.m. service. We are providing coffee, tea, water, and lemonade. And we ask you to bring a travel mug. We'll have cups for people who need one. We ask that you provide a snack or lunch for yourself, your family, or your pod group if you'd like something to eat. For now, we are not serving food as a safety measure, although, some of our coffee hours are truly legendary in their food offerings. We will host one online coffee hour at 12:30 p.m. on Zoom. You can join at the usual link, which can be found at www.muuf.org/virtual. Excuse me, or in the pastoral email that Reverend Alison sent to your inbox this morning. And last, let me remind you to take care of your needs while we are meeting outside and online through the end of October. If it's a sunny day, bring a hat. If it's chilly, bring a blanket. If you need to move your chair, you are welcome to do that at any point during the service. So welcome to one and all.
And now I would love to invite Kathy and John Solu and Teddy and Emerson Franklin to come forward. Teddy and Emerson are going to lead us in our unison chalice lighting, and the words are printed in your order of service, and they're in the pastoral note I sent you this morning. You can click on the PDF if you want to pull up the order of service. She's got it.
The great end in religious instruction is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up their own.
Not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own.
Not to give them a definite amount of knowledge, but to inspire a fervent love of truth.
Not to form an outward regularity, but to touch inward springs.
Not to bind them by ineradicable prejudices to our particular sect or particular notions.
But to prepare them for an impartial, conscientious judging of whatever subject may be offered to their decision.
Not to burden the memory, but to quicken and strengthen the power of thought.
Not to impose religion upon them in the form of arbitrary rules, but to awaken the conscience, the moral discernment.
In a word, the great end is to awaken the soul to excite and cherish spiritual life.
And now will you share our children's chalice lighting? And the words are in your order of service.
Go ahead.
This chalice lighting is used in the preschool class at the fellowship. It's from a curriculum called Chalice Children. And Emerson Franklin is going to show you the motions so that you can do the motions with the words, okay? All right, ready, Emmy? Okay. We light this chalice because we are Unitarian Universalists. This is the base. It reminds us to stand tall. This is the cup. It holds all of our stories. This is the flame. It guides our way. Blessed be. Good job.
Thank you so much. And now let us sing together. Come sing a song with me.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring is hard to find, and I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me, come walk in rain with me, come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind, and I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find, and I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me, come share a rose with me, come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind, and I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find, and I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
You may be seated. And now I would love to bring Kathy Solu and John Solu back up. We have a very important event happening right now, which is that we are passing the torch, so to speak, from Kathy Solu, who served as our religious educator in the past. And when we found ourselves in transition last year, said yes when I called and asked if she would serve in an interim capacity. And today, I have a couple of gifts as we move towards passing the torch. One, Kathy, and this is so well deserved, historically, in Unitarian Universalist congregations, when children had a perfect attendance, when they showed up every Sunday, they would get a Sunday school pin, a special pin that they could wear. And in fact, if they had a second year perfect attendance, there would be another ribbon added to it. And then a third year, fourth year, sixth year, I guess however many years they were in the program. And so, Kathy Solu, you showed up and you had a perfect and stellar attendance, not only for yourself, but you showed up for every one of our children and youth and adults of all ages. So I hope that you will wear this pin proudly. See, it says Unitarian. Wow. And it is so well deserved. And the other thing I want to give, and we've never done this before, is an award of excellence. The Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship is pleased to present this award of excellence in the Ministry of Religious Education to Kathy Solu. Thank you for fanning the flame of our faith within the hearts, minds, and spirits of our children and families. You have responded to the call to serve with unparalleled passion, compassion, generosity, and care. The Religious Education Program Year 2020 to 2021. And I have another announcement to share, which is that Kathy and John Solu, as it says on that plaque, are amongst those that have just a stellar generosity in their heart, offering their time and their talent and their treasure. And last week we had a stunning gift, as you recall. We have $4 million to go in terms of our building campaign, and Jihan Chu, who was raised in this program under part of Kathy's previous tenure, donated $2 million, just in case you missed that announcement last week. And he wanted me to remind you, he hopes that we will rise according to our abilities at all levels to try to be generous towards the campaign. And I want you to know that we had a vision, a growing vision of what we wanted, a green facility and also a facility that was welcoming to children. And Kathy Solu, apart from paying taxes, which we support as Unitarian Universalists, apart from paying taxes, donated back her entire salary to make the playground and other improvements on the grounds possible, including our beautiful flaming chalice here. So thank you, John and Kathy. Your legacy is very strong in this place. Very, very strong. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah.
Yes. Where's that handheld mic? Oh, there it is.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Of course, I have nothing prepared, but that doesn't stop me, right, guys? Never. The song we just sang, Come Sing a Song With Me, was the song that we sang when I first started as religious educator. And Kenneth Deal, if you remember Ken and Sylvia Deal, because it's a waltz, at least that's the syncopation, I think, got up, grabbed me, and we danced in the middle of the service, and it was exquisite. It touched my life. It was the perfect way to start the ministry of religious education for me. So it was serendipitous that you folks chose that song today. It was just beautiful. I wish I were 30 years younger because I'd still be doing this work, but boy, oh boy, it's a tough job, especially with all the whole digital world that's now layered on top. But Nick is here, and I feel so confident that he's going to bring a wonderful expertise and joy and encourage our children to learn our faith and to learn just what we had said today, to find their own way of seeing truth and justice, and to learn how to stand with us when the time is right to do that kind of work. So it's been a joy. Thank you, Alison, for this beautiful plaque, and thank you, congregation, for the beautiful plaque. Please enjoy our 6 acres. There are a few more benches that are coming. And plenty of, it's part of the ministry, guys, to hang out longer. Why are we racing off? Stay. Bring lunch, order lunch in, enjoy our property, have our kids get to know each other. So much love to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I would love to call Nick forth to help lead us, and you can open your order of service in the commissioning. And Nick, I do want to mention to you, because Kathy and John are extraordinarily generous, and for her to donate back her salary when she came out of retirement for us, I just want to be clear, there is not such an expectation on the staff. I might say that to Stearns and Trevor behind the camera too. So, but it is a gift of extraordinary generosity, and we all know she gives her full heart when she teaches our children on Sunday mornings. So thank you for your gifts, all of them. Let us join together in our religious education covenant, and I'd love to call Tim Davis to come forward, and I think Kara Solu is online, so she's with us online. So the first part is yours as our RE co-chair.
Okay. As the religious professionals of our congregation, do you covenant to support the religious education program, bringing your skills, your leadership, and your support to all who nurture curiosity, compassion, and community in our congregation.
We do. Watch out for the. Don't stand there. I feel like that American flag may go down. We'll see. And now for us, we are addressing anyone who has ever served on the RE committee. And your response is, we do, as was ours. Members of our religious education committees, do you covenant to encourage and support the leaders of this program, using your creativity and wisdom to create experiences that will offer opportunities for all to learn and grow? RE leadership, we do. Good. And Nick, to the teachers.
Teachers and advisors, can you guys stand up? I'll put you on the spot so everyone knows who you are. Where's your little signs and whatnot? Teachers and advisors, do you covenant to bring your experience, hope, and strength to our program and to listen and respond to each participant as a person of worth? Do you promise to listen to the teacher within yourself and to expand both your and your students' perceptions and beliefs? And do you promise to keep your own curiosity and joy alive as you teach and learn?
Yes.
You can sit down now.
And now I'm addressing the children and youth. Children and youth, do you covenant to respect yourselves, your teachers, and each other, and do your part to make this place of learning a place of learning, fun, and friendship? Do you promise to keep an open mind and an open heart, and to be teachers as well as learners? Children and youth, if you agree with that, say we do. We do. Great. And now, Nick, how about you, to all the adults?
To the adults of this congregation, as partners in this important work, do you covenant to provide resources for our program, build relationships with our children and youth, and actively support the Lifespan Religious Education Program? Do you covenant to become lifelong learners yourself? Seeking out knowledge and reflecting on what we've learned. Do you promise to both teach and learn from every individual within these walls and beyond?
And all together, we celebrate this community of teachers and learners. May we learn together the ways of joy, compassion, and love. And now, because of time, one thing I want to do is ask that the children come forward, and our offertory is a blessing. And Lori Cross, who has been a musical healer, actually, she's been a musical therapist, is going to sing a blessing, a loving kindness meditation. And Nick, do you want to give instructions as she's singing them out?
Sure. So we are going to come forward, all the kids, and find your teacher, and your teachers are going to lead you that way out the church. If you are a parent and want to come along to see where your kids are, that's fine too. If you are a parent who hasn't registered their kids or filled out the parental consent form because it's hard to find, also follow us, and I have all that stuff for you as well. So.
Now, before the offering begins, Marjorie's going to introduce it.
I'm not? Yes. Okay, so now is the time in our service where we give and receive our weekly offering. We believe that generosity changes lives. It changes the lives of people in our community, and it changes our own lives in the giving. So today's offering will be split 50-50 between the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship and Family Promise. You can donate at the text to give number 73256 with keyword MUUF followed by your dollar amount. You can also give by going to our website at www.muuf.org, and you can give by placing your offering in one of the baskets here to my left and to my right, either during the service or after the service. No rush today. so we have some spacing. And thank you so much for your generosity.
And so, children and teachers, Lori Cross is singing a blessing onto all of you for this day, as well as a blessing onto all of us.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful under these. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful under these. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful under these. May we be whole. May we be whole. May we be whole.
It is the time in our service when the morning's milestones, the significant sorrows and the significant joys that have happened in the lives of our fellow congregants are shared here so that we might lift them here in the presence of community. And I'll just mention to those online and maybe those here, it is this, I think. So I learned something that I forgot until just this moment. As I said, we're new at this. Lavaliers need a foam thing on them when you're outside, and this one doesn't have one. Do we have one inside? We don't. Okay. But we will by next week. I just want you to know that. Let's see if where's the handheld? Would that be better? Ah, there. Okay. Let's just check. Does this have less feedback? Less feedback? Is it loud enough? Can people hear in the back? Okay, great. Look at this, how we adapt and rise together. Oh, wait, did it just go out, though? Oh, no.
You hit it behind the lectern.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay. Line of sight. Okay, well, I'll do my best. Now I need to find the cards. Here they are. Okay. We have 2 milestones to share this morning. The first is from Marjorie Wormser. Heartfelt thanks to all who have asked about my mother, Edith, and sent good wishes. during her entry to hospice care in August of 2020. She passed away peacefully last Sunday, just in time for the 10:30 service at the congregation where I grew up. I am filled with gratitude for all that unfolded so well in this situation. I am not feeling sadness at this time. Let us all hold Marjorie and the entire Wormser family. May her mother Edith's legacy burn brightly in their hearts, and may the lessons of her life, including her deep commitment, I know, as a pillar of the Paramus UU congregation, be an inspiration to one and all. And when you feel sadness, may you be held. Our second milestone is being shared by John Franklin, thank you, on behalf of Jamie Thal, one of our stalwart teachers in the RE program who served for a long time as a youth advisor as well as the RE Council chair. She has endured her 6th surgery in 2 years for her knee. This happened on Thursday. She is at home and doing well and recovering. Let us all hold Jamie Thal, who may be right here in our hearts. May you heal. May you be well. May you feel ease and the love of our community. Let us continue in this spirit of loving kindness and holding people, including ourselves, in our hearts. And I want to invite everyone present here and online to make yourself comfortable, to root your feet on the ground, to sit down in the lotus position, to do whatever feels most comfortable and natural to you during a time of meditation, loving kindness meditation. And I'm going to sit here on the ground as well. And for those that are curious, our hymnal has resources from so many of the world's traditions, and including Buddhism. And number 595 is called Free from Suffering. And as with any meditation, we begin with ourselves and then we work outwards, holding others in our heart. I invite you to breathe in and to breathe out. I invite you to breathe in the love of this community and to breathe out peace. To breathe in love and to breathe out peace. Let us begin this practice with ourselves. Hold yourself in your mind's eye and at the center of your heart. May I be well and enjoy the root of happiness. May I be free from suffering and the root of suffering. May I not be separated from the joy beyond sorrow. May I dwell in spacious equanimity, free from craving, fear, and ignorance. These are the Bodhisattva vows. And now let us practice holding someone in our heart that we cherish, someone that is easy for us to love at this moment. May the one I love be well and enjoy the root of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the root of suffering. May they not be separated from the joy beyond sorrow. May they dwell in spacious equanimity, free from craving, fear, and ignorance. And now hold someone in your heart that you may be acquainted with but not know very well, but someone that you pass. It could be someone who delivers packages to your door at home or at work. It could be someone from the grocery store, someone you pass on your morning walk, anyone, an acquaintance. May that person be well and enjoy the root of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the root of suffering. May they not be separated from the joy beyond sorrow. May they dwell in spacious equanimity, free from craving, fear, and ignorance. And now I invite you to hold someone that you may be having a struggle with. It could be someone you love and you're in conflict with them. It could be someone that you have struggled with all the time. And remember, you don't have to choose the most challenging person in your life. You can just choose anyone that you have a conflict with. And if you're ready to hold the person that is most challenging at this time for you, you can do that. And let us repeat these vows. May that person be well. May they enjoy the root of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the root of suffering. May they not be separated from the joy beyond sorrow. May they dwell in spacious equanimity, free from fear, craving, and ignorance. And finally, let us breathe in and breathe out love for all sentient beings, every human, every creature on earth. May all sentient beings be well and enjoy the root of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the root of suffering. May they not be separated from the joy beyond sorrow. May they dwell in spacious equanimity, free from fear, ignorance, and craving. And let us breathe in one final breath, breathing in the love of this community and breathing out peace. And I invite you to rise in body or spirit and to feel every pore fill up with that sense of love and peace. And let us sing together, Spirit of Life, while we are up in spirit.
And we're going to invite Lori Cross again forward to lead us on Spirit of Life. We'll sing it twice through.
You ready? Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
You may be seated. I think so too. Do we all want to say that out loud? We heard from the side a child cry, "Yay! Yay, Lori, yay!" And thank you for the hair tie that came forward. We're learning all the things that one learns when you're outdoors. So I want to share a poem with you from Emma Lazarus. Many of us know her poem about the Statue of Liberty, and here is a poem called Sympathy. Therefore I dare reveal my private woe, the secret blots of my imperfect heart, nor strive to shrink or swell mine own desert, nor beautify nor hide. For this I know, that even as I am, thou also art. Though past heroic forms unmoved shalt go, to pause and bide with me, to whisper low, not I alone am weak, not I apart must suffer, struggle, conquer day by day. Here is my very cross, by strangers borne. Here is my bosom, sin, wherefrom I pray. Hourly deliverance, this my rose, my thorn. This woman my soul's need can understand, stretching o'er silent gulfs her sister's hand. Our second principle in Unitarian Universalism is the following. We covenant to affirm and promote justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Let me introduce you to Kuan Yin. This is a statue of her which stands in my office right in front of the hearth. She is known by a number of names, including the goddess of compassion. Her name in Sanskrit is Padma Pani, or born of the lotus. She is gender non-conforming. In the earliest stories, he is known as Avalokiteshvara, the merciful Lord of utter enlightenment, an Indian bodhisattva. In later stories, beginning in the 12th century, she becomes Kuan Yin, which in Chinese means she who hears the cries of the world. There are so many legends about her life story, and here is one from China. She was the third daughter of an Indian prince, a king who led his people peacefully under Confucian ethics. When she was born, her body glowed with an almost unearthly light, so much so that the palace looked as if it was on fire. Her parents named her Miao Shan, wonderful goodness. Even as a child, she practiced detachment from the material things by which she was surrounded. Miao Shan did not enjoy wearing expensive fabrics, no princess dress-up for this woman, or jewels or even makeup. Instead, she always wore the simplest of clothes and only ate one meal per day. Her conversations were about the impermanence of material possessions and how we human beings suffer because of our attachment to them. Now, her parents, the king and queen, did not always relish this conversation over the dinner table, and they decided it was time for her to choose a husband. To this prospect, she replied, "I would never, for the sake of one lifetime of enjoyment, plunge into eons of misery. I have pondered on this matter and deeply detest the idea of an earthly union." Nevertheless, when her parents insisted, she agreed to comply with their wish if only her future mate would save her from the following three misfortunes: growing old, sickness, and death. Finally, she concluded, "If indeed my future husband can ensure my deliverance against these misfortunes, I will gladly marry him. Otherwise, I will remain a spinster all my life. My desire is to follow the Buddhist path and to leave this material world behind." Her father was exasperated, and he decided to test her convictions. Like any good turn of fate, semi-tragedy, he sent her to the nunnery. And there he demanded that the head nun expose her to as much hardship as possible, so she would realize the foolishness of her path. And he threatened that nun if she wasn't reformed in 7 days. I better close this while I fetch the other one. Thank you. Now, she was not successfully reformed in 7 days, which is not surprising. There we go. But she was not deterred from the path of Dharma. And he was so infuriated that this time he decided that he would sentence her to death. But just at the moment that she was to be executed and the sword was to fall upon her neck, there was a flash of lightning, and a tiger came out from nowhere and scooped her up and took her off into the hills. Now, maybe not surprisingly in this story, the king's karma catches up with him, and he becomes very, very ill. He meets a holy man who shares that the only way that he could possibly be healed was that if someone without the slightest bit of anger and resentment was willing to sacrifice a portion of their own body, perhaps their eyes or their arms, the elixir made of these potent ingredients would relieve him of suffering. Where, alas, could I possibly find such a compassionate being? Why, in this very land, said the monk, and I'm thinking you might be able to guess who it was. There was a compassionate hermit who possessed all these qualities, and in fact was willing to make such a sacrifice. The king was healed, and when he went to pay homage to the one who had miraculously saved his life, after bowing low, when he raised his eyes, there he saw his youngest daughter, Yao Shan. Realizing what she had done for him, despite all he had done to her, the king fell prostrate on the floor and asked for forgiveness. Overcome with emotion, her parents embraced her, and the father acknowledged his evil doing that led to her terrible suffering. But she shared, "Father, I suffer no pain. I have given up human eyes, but they have been replaced with diamond eyes. If my calling is true, all this will follow." In the end, what the various legends share is the following interpretation. Kuan Yin was a devoted follower of the Buddha who led a life of practice, virtue, and self-sacrifice. She attained enlightenment, and at the moment that she could be released from the cycles of birth and death and reach nirvana, she heard a cry of anguish from the earth below. She renounced her reward of eternal bliss and turned back, finding her place in eternity in the hearts of all those who suffer. As with any legend of a great human prophet or saint or manifestation of the divine in all, like with Jesus or here with Kuan Yin, we are to take spiritual lessons from the memorable and changing details woven around and on top of their lives through oral stories passed around the world and eventually written down in books. We may or may not believe that her eyes were literally turned into diamonds, or we may find it hard to fathom that one would sacrifice their eyes or their arms. But the point is that there are lessons from her path. She led a life of spiritual practice, as in the case of meditation, and it brought about insights and clarity and feelings of inner peace and the ability to act with equanimity. She learned how to identify what is impermanent and ultimately how to make peace with the human condition of letting go. And through that, she gained inner and outer resiliency and strength. Third, she recognized that we are united by suffering. She had the capacity to be present to and take in the sufferings of others, to truly be with them in their pain, and even was willing to make sacrifices. And by being truly present to them, she found that their suffering, as well as her own, could be alleviated. When cultivating a practice of compassion, it is most authentic when you begin with yourself, with self-compassion. And although bodhisattvas always choose the well-being of others before themselves, we ordinary followers of the Buddha's teachings need to replenish the well and constantly direct compassion to ourselves. So begin with you. If you hear voices in your head that you aren't good enough, if you are in pain and you can't hold your own suffering, acknowledge its presence, then it will be difficult to have the strength, the replenishing resilience, and the true authenticity to hold someone else's. Ronald Siegel, a professor of clinical psychology at Harvard Medical School, points towards 3 antidotes when you are struggling to be compassionate with yourself. 1, when you are directing self-criticism at yourself, the voices of a parent or someone else in your head telling you that you aren't good enough, that you always make this mistake, or whatever that looks like for you, then direct self-kindness, a loving kindness meditation towards yourself. If you are feeling isolated, like so many of us are during this time of a pandemic, then reach out in some way, like here at the fellowship. Recognize your common humanity and feel that connection with others. And if you are feeling self-absorbed, which is at times an easy challenge, the most extreme example are some of the narcissists that have led our country at different times. But all of us can sometimes be self-absorbed. Then turn towards mindfulness. Turn towards perspective. Recognize that we are all good at some things, not equally good, and we are great at others and struggle at yet others. And that's what makes humanity so interesting. We all have different talents and gifts. So shift from self-absorption, accept yourself fully, and move towards mindfulness and awareness of others. And Siegel offers 5 paths to self-compassion. One is physical, literally relaxing the body, sitting down to meditate, breathing in and breathing out, and feeling the tension soften. The second path is mental, allowing thoughts to just come and go, being compassionate about the thoughts as they rise. The third path is emotional. Befriend your feelings, all of them. Don't squash them. Sit with any pain or anguish that you may be feeling. And soothe yourself the way a loving parent would soothe a child. Hold those feelings. The fourth path is relational, not to be stuck in a place of loneliness. Solitude is different. An enjoyment of time with yourself, with nature, with God, with your thoughts. But if you are feeling a deep loneliness, to reach out and connect safely with others. That is a path to self-compassion. And in fact, if you can even begin by imagining what a compassionate friend would advise you if you were going through something, that can be a place to start. And finally, the fifth path that Siegel offers is to commit to something larger than yourself. Feelings of self-compassion rise when we recognize and see that it is not I alone who suffer, as Emma Lazarus shared in her poem, but it is every sister whose hand I might reach out toward, or who might reach out to me, who suffers from some of the same things. Earlier, we practiced a loving kindness meditation, a metta meditation, and sent positive healing energy even to those that we may struggle to hold with kindness. And a loving kindness meditation is a very good place to begin in terms of a meditative practice. There is also a practice, an advanced practice, that helps us to deepen into our capacity for compassion. And this is called a Tonglen Meditation. It is a taking and giving, or a taking and sending meditation. The practice originally was started by Atisha, a Buddhist monk in the 11th century. In this type of meditation, we hold someone or people who are ill or dying or in pain of any kind, physical, psychological, and spiritual. And Pema Chodron writes this about the practice. In Tonglen practice, we visualize taking in the pain of others with every in-breath and sending out whatever will benefit them on the out-breath. through that process, we can be liberated from selfishness, and we can begin to feel love for ourselves and another, and our capacity to take care of ourselves and another. So that practice, we breathe in the suffering and pain of another, and we breathe out kindness and goodwill. Some of you may find that this is a practice that is grounding and expanding as we continue to ride through this pandemic, the impacts of global warming, and a time of great polarization in our country. There are 4 stages to this giving and taking practice. You begin by resting your mind, feeling the stillness. You open to the spaciousness, and look at this today, is so perfect. There's just a spaciousness to the sky today, a clear blue sky, to feel the stillness and the spaciousness of the sky. And then along comes a plane to remind us that it takes practice. And then you move into a space of visualization to imagine heat and darkness and heaviness, maybe even a sense of claustrophobia. That's something that's challenging to hold. And breathe out feelings of coolness and brightness and light, a sense of freshness. Imagine breathing in negative energy, and when you breathe out, radiate positive, bright energy through all the pores of your body. Third, focus on a personal situation. It needs to be something that is painful and real to you. And you would begin again, just like with the meditation, with yourself, and then moving to someone that you care about and wish to help. So if you're feeling inadequate, or if you have a friend who's going through cancer, you can begin by breathing in some of those negative feelings or the negative energy or painful energy, and then breathe out a healing, positive energy, and then move from yourself to anyone that might be feeling inadequate, or from your friend who's suffering with cancer to all people who are suffering with cancer. And fourth, the final stage. This is fun, how they're just blowing in the wind towards you. I like this. Let it go, let it go. And finally, in the fourth stage, make the taking in and sending out even bigger. Just like in that loving kindness meditation, but this time being willing to be in the presence of suffering and pain. Think about all of us in the world who are suffering the adverse consequences of global warming, including the pandemic and food insecurity and floods and fires and bodily harm. Recognize that you are with them in that pain, for it is also your own in some measure. And from that place, really expanding in an awareness of what pain there is in the world. Then breathe out with every fiber of your being a sense of healing, of light, of brightness, and feel your ability to change something within yourself. And when it's a true practice of compassion and you recognize that we are united in suffering, then following that practice, you awaken to a sense of compassion where you wish to act for change, for justice, to make love visible in your life and in our world. I'll end by sharing this, that Kuan Yin, this Kuan Yin statue, sits in my office looking towards me as I sit with people who are in pain during pastoral appointments. She reminds me that I am not alone and that if I reach my limit, I could never possibly end the pain of global warming or the pain of dying on my own. That there are others who can support this person, and that they too have within well springs of healing, compassion, equanimity, and love. And that together we can be that expanding community of change. And we can also be present, friends, to one another's great joys too. May we grow compassionate in this community as well as wise. For when we are truly with one another's heartbreak, there we find the strength and the will to engage in the struggle to change the world into one that has justice and equity for all. May it be so. And may all of us walk with Kuan Yin by our side. And now, let us join in singing together our next song, although I think my program has flown away, Stearns, so you'll have to... Oh, that's right. When our heart is in a holy place.
And we'll just sing 2 verses this time for time. We invite you to rise in body or spirit. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place.
So I have one quick last thank you. So many thank yous these first weeks, but it is a wonderful thing indeed that we do not take for granted. I wanted you to know that some of our ability to broadcast from outdoors and our new cameras that we're actually installing and other features that will make it really a wonderful experience when it's safe to go back inside, and a learning experience here right now is that the Chu family, Jihan Chu specifically, gave some money to help us with our AV and music system, including, did you know, I'll leave it on this, our piano is held together in that sanctuary with super glue. Who knew that? And so we're going to get a new piano. That's right. A disclaimer, Stearns did not put super glue in the piano. And also is helping us afford a new assistant music director this year, a grant for this year. So maybe someone out there wants to actually apply for that position, which is a wonderful thing. So thank you, another thank you to the Chu family. And it's accompanied by a plane flying overhead because it's something to aspire to, that kind of generosity, a height to aspire to. So let me close with these words by Emily Dickinson. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. May all of us go forth and share the love within with the hurting world without. Go forth and know that you are blessed, you are enough, and so go forth and bless the world. Blessed be. And off to coffee hour on the terrace over that way.
Services on this SD card.
That was fantastic. It's plenty of